Camille.
Don't take care. Hope to see you never.
Cabs are here!
Dude, stop acting like you're the number one guy in this group, man. I'm the number one guy in this group.
Things are about to get murderous.
All right, so today we've got some pop culture headlines that are making waves. We've got the breakup of Love Island, JaNa and Kenny.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about this?
Nope.
Okay, I can't wait to fill you in.
Okay.
We have the Valley Reunion, part 1.
Yes.
And it was a lot of Michelle and what's his face?
Aaron. Yeah.
No,
not Aaron. Jesse.
Jesse. I even wrote Aaron. Yeah, it was a lot of
Wow.
Michelle and Jesse, which I didn't really expect, but it was interesting to watch them hate each other.
Well, they're going to save like most of the Jackson Brittany for the final episode of the reunion, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody wants to
Yep.
see. And then we also have Kelly Wolf
Yeah.
continuing to be deranged online.
Let me tell you, I'm so excited to talk about this because I have deep dived this in a way that is unhealthy.
Well, I can't wait to hear your nuanced takes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is Confessionals and Congressionals, a twice weekly podcast. We talk about pop culture headlines, celebrity news, reality TV recaps. We are starting our The Challenge recap later this week. So we're going to start recapping the new season of The Challenge. So stay tuned for that. And then we have one weekly episode where we just talk about pop culture and celebrity headlines. So that's today's episode. My name's Lauren.
I'm Cassie.
Let's get into it.
All right. So first, we went on vacation together.
We did. We went to the
We-
scorching hot state of Texas.
Yes. And we fully planned. So the last episode we did, I was in a hotel driving to our destination. And we fully intended to record an episode together at the Airbnb. And I feel like we were all, at least in my opinion, just so present and with each other that we didn't like pull away to go record. There's a part of me that's sad. I think it would have been great.
Yeah.
But I also know I want to get back to North Carolina and I want you guys to come down here. So we will make that happen. But what a fantastic trip. Did you like it?
I did. I had a blast. I know you put so much effort into making it what it was. So I really appreciate that. I know how much thought and time you spent doing all of that. So I really appreciate it. I had a blast and I totally agree with you. Everybody was very present. And, you know, for the most part, people were off their phones. For the most part, people were just hanging out and chatting and catching up. We only get to see each other once or twice a year as a big group like that, really only once.
Yeah, if that. Like there's plenty
Yeah.
of times where that never happens. I loved seeing the cousins together.
Yeah.
My favorite picture from the entire trip is my grandma, the kid's great grandma, holding your son Benny.
Yes.
That is my absolute favorite photo. She looks so joyful. And I literally, I would bet you it's been 40 years since she's touched a baby.
Oh.
And she just looked blissful. And it just filled my heart. It really did. I loved it. It was so
Yeah.
great. And it was great to just like sit across from you. Even though we
Yeah.
do this all the time, it was just nice to have you right there.
Yeah, IRL. I know your grandma was so sweet with Benny, and she's told me that it was good for her soul to hold him.
It was. And you know,
He fell
Benny,
asleep like immediately in her arms.
immediately. And like, you know, Benny is a special needs baby. And I was telling my husband, I said, one of the things that I loved in that moment was that, you know, if you're looking at Benny straight on, like you can tell that that he has special needs, right? And then he also has a feeding tube and like you can see like, right? Like he's just not typical. And I don't think my grandma noticed any of those things.
No, for real.
She looked head over heels, just in love with this baby. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's something to seeing someone that is in the final parts of their lives, right? Like she's well into her 90s. That's just the reality of where we're at.
Yeah.
And when you see someone like her hold Benny and have this attitude of just like nonchalant, it's all gonna be fine. I don't know. It just filled me up because I'm like, look, if she is there, we can all get there.
Yeah.
Didn't mean anything different.
Yeah.
It's your grandbaby.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really sweet. And I'm so glad that we got to give her that experience. I mean, I know that she got to meet everyone. Benny always ends up stealing the show.
How can he not?
He gets all the attention, and I felt a little bad, but I'm glad all the other kids got to meet her. And, she only stayed for like 2 hours. She came for a meal and then she went back, but she hadn't been out of her home in a long time.
Yeah, like 2 years. And like I
Yeah.
said, she's well into her 90s. Like this was an adventure for her.
Yeah.
This
It took
was, like-
her 15 minutes to walk into the house.
I made some videos of her like leaving just because I was like, no one will believe me when I say how long and the process was. And it's so cute that like she has a walker that has a seat on it and everybody was like, just sit down and we'll wheel you out.
Yeah.
And she was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Stop
She has
it.
a little streak of stubbornness in her.
Yeah, it's so odd. I don't know. I didn't realize that was our side of the family. I've always blamed it on my husband's side, but apparently it's us.
Yeah, no, I see some parallels for sure.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but
that
it was
our
really great.
trip. It was great. We were in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We never left our Airbnb. We just had an amazing time. It was lovely. We did not get to watch as much reality TV as we are accustomed to.
No, yeah. I mean, I had to catch up on everything this morning finally.
Oh my God. I listened to Jax's podcast on the ride. I've been trying to listen to Sheena's audiobook. Yeah, there's so much that's been
I
going
actually forgot about the audiobook. We should do a whole other separate
Yeah, we
episode
will.
just about Sheena's memoir.
We will.
I did
We
finish
will.
it. I mean, it's only 16.
Like I'm kind of glad that because I have Audible, so I get like 1 credit a month. And I'm kind of glad that I just did the Audible version. If I would have bought it in a bookstore, now I'm like, how thin is this book?
Yeah, it's not very long. And
No.
it's basically just her gossiping about all of the people in her life.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
No, I think we should save it.
Okay, let's save it.
But yeah, it's just her gossiping. I mean, she has zero boundaries. Unless she got permission from everyone to talk about their personal details, I honestly was like a little bit offended by all the things she was saying on behalf of the people that she was talking about. I hope nobody ever writes a memoir and tells all my deepest, darkest secrets to people.
We'll deep dive at another episode, but I always think about one of my favorite books is a book called Bird by Bird. And it is about writing and learning how to write, whether it's your story or fiction. And there's a part in the book where she talks about how her students are always worried about how other people are going to feel they're portrayed. So like her students will say, if I write about this, I'm scared my mom will be upset to read this about herself,
Yeah, that makes sense.
And she says, like, if they wanted to be written about differently, they should have behaved differently.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, I can see that. I think talking about your ex who died by suicide's personal details, for instance, might be pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more of the stuff that probably didn't need to be said out loud. People that aren't really celebrities, or even all the people that are celebrities that she mentioned. Like, God, she loves to name drop a celebrity.
Well, and we'll deep dive it another day. We'll go through it chapter by chapter. Yeah. But the only thing I'll say is that one thing that came to me was that pain and trauma are relative. And so often people feel like, like if my mom complains that she's very busy, she's always like, I hate to say this when I'm talking to you because you have 4 kids and a job and softball and baseball and this and that. And like, so I know I have no right to say I'm busy when you're so busy. And I always have to remind her, like, it's relative. It's what we have. And my biggest takeaway so far, I'm not done with the book yet, is that what I feel is there is someone who has went through things that feel very traumatic. And unfortunately, a lot of us have dealt with far more traumatic situations. And so to us, it's like, oh my God, that's not that big a thing. But if that is like how you calibrate, if that is all you have, for her, that may feel. And so I feel like sometimes she overdoes it because she's just trying to like let you know it was painful to me. And
Right.
she's probably right based on her level
Yeah.
of trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really sweet take. And I can't wait to get more into it with you. You have a lot of compassion for Sheena, and I love that about you.
I try.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the reunion.
Okay.
The Valley reunion part 1. Should we start with Michelle and Aaron?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So what were your takeaways? What were your thoughts?
So first, I should say that you reached out to me on the trip, on the drive, and said that Aaron and Michelle broke up.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I said Michelle and Aaron again. I meant Michelle and
Yeah, you
Jesse.
did.
But yeah.
So as far as we know, that is true, correct?
Yes, I think that's been confirmed.
Okay.
Yep.
So I feel like that makes all of this look worse.
Yep.
The other thing that I noticed when I was watching this was, and I Googled it and chat GPT'd it just so I can know, there has not been a lot of shows that are like, there's not a lot of reality television where the cameras are up as the divorce is happening, especially as it relates to co-parenting, with both cast members being part of the show. So with the Real Housewives, we have divorces, but a lot of the times we're focused on just the wives.
Yep.
So we're not going to see, right? So that was something that really hit me when I was watching the reunion, was I was like, I hope we're all cognizant of the fact that these are going to be some of our worst moments and emotionally charged moments caught on film that wouldn't normally be. So I feel like it does play a little differently now, knowing that Michelle and Aaron have split. And I don't feel like either of them came off particularly well during the reunion. I found that Jesse was more reflective, or at least acted as if he was more reflective, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like Jesse seems to be taking at least a little bit more accountability. And Michelle is so defensive. Well, here's one thing for sure. They don't agree about anything. Every time one of them would say something, the other person would be like, that's not how it was, or that's not true, or whatever. And it's like, I don't think either one of them is lying. I think that there's these little details that they feel like the other person isn't totally getting right, especially when it comes to their intentions behind whatever they did. And so they're just constantly getting in this fight about correcting each other about the facts instead of the larger picture. And it's really annoying to watch.
It is. It really is. And I don't feel like either of them come off great. Like, I think Michelle doesn't come off good. And again, coming from a co-parenting standpoint where I've been there, done that, I just want to like sit down with both of them a lot of the times, just because I'm like, you're wrong. Like when Michelle says, like, if you don't let Isabella see my mom, then I will never let her see your mom for the rest of her life.
Yeah, it's like they're just,
That's
he's
not
right.
gonna
They're in
happen.
competition with each other.
Yes. And I wish his attitude had been more like, okay, well, that's never going to happen. Like, you don't get to say that and do that. Why are you taking that as that could really happen.
Yeah.
And then he is equally wrong for even making this a debate. She wants her daughter to see grandma before she passes away. You say yes. Like, what are you doing? You don't need to call in a therapist. This is where, like, the over controlling, they're both so determined to have control over these situations.
Yeah. And we learned some pretty interesting things. We learned that Aaron is technically Aaron. I wrote
know.
Aaron.
I did too.
Jesse is technically representing himself. So is Jax, or he was, at least at the beginning, which I'm really curious about this. I would love to hear from a divorce lawyer. Like, is this common for one of the parties, maybe especially the man, to A, think that he can defend himself in divorce court, which is just like so delusional, and B, especially in these very contentious, like high conflict divorces, like, and B, is it some sort of tactic to like prolong or irritate, or is it like meant to be a manipulation of some sort? I'm really curious because that's how it comes off.
So, I mean, it is really expensive. Family court is really expensive. We've represented ourselves a couple times in court, and then the other party has as well sometimes in court. And it's really not that hard. All the courthouses have what's called a pro se coordinator, and pro se is like representing yourself. And they kind of go through things with you. The truth is that a lot of this is pretty cut and dry. You don't like, it's just, especially with like Jax and Brittany, where they're like, with Michelle and Jesse, where they've already said they have the custody part drawn up.
Oh, right.
If you
so
can
it's just
get
the money
that
stuff
done, right, and all you have left is the money stuff, I don't think it's that hard to represent yourself, especially when you're not at the trial part of like right now you're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
Here's what I want. Well, here's what she wants. Well, here's what I want. You're spending a lot of money for an attorney to write that email.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't
So you don't think that this is too out of the ordinary or like manipulative or anything?
No, it's really family court is ridiculously expensive.
That's
It's
annoying.
so much money. And it doesn't sound like Jesse has a lot of that right now.
Yeah, so he's trying to save money and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we did that a lot. Like we'll hire an attorney if this is going to go to trial.
Yeah.
But before that, I can write the email. That's not that hard.
I have my lawyer ChatGPT on call.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. So we learned that he's representing himself. We also learned that according to Brittany, Jesse's current girlfriend was talking horribly about him.
Jax's or Jesse's?
Jesse's current girlfriend was talking horribly about him at the party, at some point. And Britt was like saying that she doesn't even think he likes her. She likes him.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
I didn't love this. It took a while for them to give specific examples. And I also just feel like, look, unless she's coming out on the stage, you almost can't talk about the people that are not in any way on the show.
Yeah.
Because there's no room for me to hear their side.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I didn't put any stock in it either way.
Yeah, he didn't seem bothered by it. And I wrote down, does he have some sort of humiliation kink or something? Maybe.
Well, you know that he is absolutely if him and his girlfriend are still together, you know that he's loving that him and his girlfriend are still together and Aaron and Michelle broke up. Yeah.
And so they talked in the reunion about how her and Aaron had moved in together recently. So this was filmed 4 months ago?
Yes.
And so something happened. And I'm just like, wow, she really, from kind of the moment she met Aaron, integrated their lives together, you know, with their kiddo and all of that. And I just think, you know, for the high horse that she's always on about how Jesse's never doing the right thing and everything, it's really interesting that, in my opinion, she made like a colossal mess up with allowing this to go where it went. Now, of course, we don't know the situation of their breakup, but you just think, I know that you're probably desperate to feel like loved and appreciated. And I'm sure that it felt really nice to be with Aaron and everything. But you do have to not just be thinking about yourself. I don't know. Like, I wonder how she justified it in her mind.
You know, I think, yeah, somebody that made her feel good about herself. She was so sure for their future. My hope is that it's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
And she'll be a lot more careful about when. I don't think that there's anything wrong with your child meeting the person. Like, my kids meet my friends all the time. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're going to see the friend again in a month. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, nothing wrong with that. But when you're trying to, you know, when we heard Isabella saying, I love you to Aaron this season, like, there were definitely things that I was like, this is not going to be good if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And so my hope is that it's a lesson learned and she'll be a little bit, it's hard because especially if you're in a mindset of like, I hope to get remarried, I hope to have another, then everything moves a little faster and you kind of
Yeah.
have to decide. All of those things are going to take a long time to decide because I don't want to put Isabella through that again.
I also noticed that every time Jesse talks, everybody rolls their eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so does everybody not like him? Or I think that they just kind of think he's a little bit of a goober, like I've said before.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're just like, of course he would say that or whatever.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
And then at one point, Jason said that it's reasonable that Jesse was crying. And someone said, I agree.
I think that was Michelle. Based on,
Yeah.
I watched it back a couple times and I'm looking at, she's the only one who makes a hand gesture as the words come out. So I think it was her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I was looking at Janet because Janet had just been going after him and I couldn't figure out who had said that. And if Janet was like changing course because of what Jason said. But yeah, we get a little bit of Janet in this, but not much. I think that must be coming.
Oh, 100%. 100%. We're not
Yeah.
there yet. I did, if we're good with Michelle and Jesse, I did love Andy Cohen, you know, just telling Kristen that it seems like attitudes have changed towards her. And
She was the voice of
did
reason
come
this
off.
season.
Yes. Yes. And that filled me with joy. I'm so happy for her.
I know. She crushed it this season. And I think thank God she's not in the middle of a bunch of drama while she's pregnant at the end of this.
And right away, beginning of the reunion, she apologized again to Janet. And it felt like a very, like, especially for when this was filmed, which wasn't that long ago, like, because, you know, Kristen is like 33 weeks pregnant at that point. So we're only a few months back. She knew by then that the tides were turning against Janet. So I think she could have gotten away with not apologizing as far as the audience goes. And yet she still did. She still owned, like, that was too far. I should not have said that. And I owe you an apology.
Yep.
I thought it was great. I love her.
Go, Kristen. So now we get to Jackson Britt. And we're going from person to person here in this little recap. So there's a little bit of Jackson Britt in this, although we'll probably see more later. One thing they did was they flashed back to all the therapists that Jax has had. And I think it was last week you asked me, like, who do you think would be a good partner for Jax? And I actually think, so that Kelsey Patel, like, Reiki healer that he saw, do you remember her? Of course you remember her. Course. He was like, he said he loved her on the phone. Somebody like that who can truly see the good in him. I felt like she reminded him of his humanity and of his goodness. And I think she was the only person in his life that did that. And that's why he felt so, like, drawn to see her.
That is such a good point because I've liked some of the other therapists he's seen because of how they've challenged him, like how they've recognized patterns in him that we as the audience see, but it makes him almost more defensive and shuts him down. And that's
Yep.
such a good point where it's like he gravitated, and I think like once had that relationship continued on, once he felt like he could trust the person and they value him and they see the good in him, then he may be more open
Yeah.
to the feedback on the other things that need to be addressed. That's a really good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I think that somebody like Jax can't feel like somebody is coming at him at all. Like he can't handle any of that. So I think somebody who really, really like sees the goodness in him is helpful for him to move
Yeah.
forward and get through things. So what did you think about Jax's overall demeanor on this episode?
He was quieter than we're used to. I felt like I was watching someone that was very exhausted from being attacked, was what I mostly felt.
Yeah.
And I will say at the end of the episode when he cried, that felt very, very real to me. And I think everybody should just, not the people on the show, but like the people in the frickin' comments, you know, if you could just sit down, close your eyes and think about the absolute worst time of your life, the thing that when you did the thing that you never want to talk about with anyone ever. And now the whole world gets to see it and pick it apart. It's so easy to sit on the couch and just have an opinion. And I think
Yeah,
it's
say what an
really,
asshole.
really hard.
I think that I saw in him a minuscule amount of humility and accountability, which is a
Yeah.
minuscule more than what he gave before.
Yeah.
He did say, like, he did acknowledge the pain he's caused, and he did say sorry, and he did like seem to understand why people were upset with him. And before, I mean, he even talks about it in this. Like, he didn't think he was doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
He didn't think he needed to go to rehab.
Right. And he definitely came across as somebody who knows that that's incorrect. Like he, you know, there was even a part, I don't remember what they were talking about, when they were talking about how she got with Julian and like he had already been with other girls and like he had no right. And he's fully like, correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is a part of me that I am working on because I had no right to feel any kind of way. And he didn't try to say, well, but it's different because, or just, nope.
Yeah, he didn't try to make an excuse for it.
Yeah.
I did notice that there was a picture of Jackson Cruz in the background.
On the reunion?
Of the set. Yeah, on the set. There was like a little table behind them, like it was almost set up like a living room, and there was a picture of Jax with Cruz on his shoulders. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, I did not even catch that. Good eye.
I think it was them. Yeah, so that's interesting. Sure. You know, the show does that very intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I also 100% think he's on steroids.
Yeah.
I don't think a man of his age could bulk up like that without being on steroids.
Yeah. This was a moment too where it's like, you know, had it worked out, what a perfect couple, because Brittany says a couple things this episode that are so Jax. Like when they're talking about the steroids and she says, then why is your behavior so sporadic? She meant erratic.
Yeah.
And then she said, I wouldn't touch that penis with a 10-inch pole. You mean a 10-foot pole?
Yeah.
So there were a few moments where I was like, you know, you guys at some point were made for each other.
Yeah, you're both dummies. That much is for sure.
A little bit. So I agree. I mean, he has gotten, you know, pun intended, so jacked that you do feel like, I don't know that you naturally at 45 years old are getting there.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I don't care how much you're eating. I don't care how much you're working out. I don't like that isn't a natural thing that's going on there for sure. And he's definitely taken steroids in the past.
Right. But Jax would choose to like force himself to believe that like, no, what this is, it's like a hormone that my body has been missing. And this is like a peptide and this is that. Like, he'd believe all that verbiage that is being sold to him in order to not say steroids.
Yeah, I mean, I think that to him, it's not a drug, like a drug in the same sense that cocaine is, like you're saying. And I think also that he doesn't probably see another option because he cares so much about the way he looks. I don't think that it's even like it's probably a non-negotiable for him to have that.
I mean,
so he's going to justify it.
Yeah, that's where all his worth comes
Exactly.
from. That's the only thing.
Especially now.
Right. Yeah. So I'm curious, like, what more we're going to see. I thought it was interesting that, you know, when they asked Brittany like where they are on the divorce, that she said he doesn't want to sign anything until he knows if he's getting fired from the Valley, so he knows whether or not he has to pay alimony. And I feel a lot of different ways about that, because I feel like if the situation was reversed, we so often are fine with the wife getting alimony. So I don't know why I would be mad at Jax getting alimony if she's making more money. But the big difference is the reason that I'm fine with the wife getting alimony is a lot of the times the wife has, like, you've only had the career you've had because she was willing to hold it down at home and do all the things. Whereas with Brittany, it's like, I have a feeling she was also doing all the things.
Oh, for sure. She was doing all things except mowing the yard.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he wasn't bringing in money.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And not only that, but he was spending all of their money and he had tons and tons of debt and he had he had not paid his taxes and their mortgage was high because of him. Like, I think that that's the problem, is that he's been so irresponsible with money that you're like, yeah, no, F you. Like, you have dug your own hole here.
Yes, 100%. And it'd be way different if it was like he was the one taking Cruz to all the appointments and doing all the things while she was out working. But that's not what happened. Yeah. So you're not entitled to shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I worry about, you know, the dynamic. I think that is why intentionally during the reunion, when Jack said, when I think back to when it all started going wrong, it was when I got fired from Vanderpump.
Yeah.
And I think he purposely said that to plant in her head and producers how much worse I'm going to get if I get fired from the Valley. So,
and he's been fired.
He's been fired.
Yeah.
But it's just on pause, Lauren. It's just on pause. He's not done.
He's made it abundantly clear that he would like to be back on our shows next season.
He will be back on. This is his show. He's just pausing it. God.
Okay, so one last thing with Britt is I just still find it irritating that, like, she's got so much resentment for him for crossing her boundaries and disrespecting her, etc. You know, she was like, you know, you cheated on me, you lied to me, like all this kind of stuff. And I stayed and I kept working on it. And I did this and I did that. And it's like, girl, that's the problem. You can't be mad at him when he's always been the freaking same.
Exactly. Like, that is a big part of it. It's like, you are mad. And if you stood back, you would see that you should be angry with yourself.
Yeah.
It is not his responsibility for you to allow someone to continue to treat you this way.
Yeah.
That's on you. You're mad at yourself. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Be mad at yourself.
I mean, he's a piece of shit for sure.
Go to therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Please, for the love of God. Okay, that was all my notes for part 1. What about you?
Yeah, that was it. Except I've known so many men that are like this, but like, God, Jax, wear a condom.
Oh my God.
It just is so, I don't even know. That really bothered me. Honestly, like, that really, really bothered me, because he strikes me as someone who is just getting a lot of validation from sleeping with different women, and like what you're passing back and forth, and not to mention unwanted pregnancies, was just really grossed out by that. And the fact that he admitted, like, yeah, I'm not really a condom person. It was just gross.
Yeah, it is gross. And it's gross that he's always been that way. Like he has talked about that in the past. And it's like, yeah, that's part of the profile of the fact that he does not have any respect for anybody's rules or boundaries. Like he is.
Well, and I also think the reason it's gross to me is because of how dishonest he is. Like, I could fully see if a girl said to him, like, have you been tested? He would lie and say,
Of
yeah, last
course.
week. Last week
Yeah.
I was tested. Like,
He'll say whatever he has to.
exactly. Like, so.
Yeah, it's icky. That's icky.
Yeah.
The fact that women still sleep with him is honestly shocking.
Okay, so are you caught up on McBee?
Yep, I watched the episode this morning.
All right. And what are you thinking?
Well, first of all, the fact that most of the episode is in the Ozarks is so funny. The Ozarks are disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sorry to anybody that I offend when I say that, but the water is so gross. And but it is like where people have their lake houses when you live in Missouri. So it is where like the rich people go, but it is just like the lowest bar that you could possibly have for like a vacation place. I'm just like, I'm sorry, I freaking hate where I like hate where I'm from, but it's like
it feels right up my alley.
Just wait until you see how icky the water is, and then maybe you'll change your mind.
I mean, any Central Florida person listening knows it'll be fine.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think it's really noteworthy that we basically haven't seen Dad at all, except for flashbacks.
Yeah.
And Cole was a mess. And this is the first time I've seen him be a mess because I haven't seen season 1.
Right. Where I see him more like Dad. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my number one question is, do these guys have veneers or are their teeth just humongous?
I know that the baby, the cute face baby one, Jesse, did get veneers.
Yeah, because he's got some gompers on him.
Yeah, my understanding was that there was a lot of commentary on his teeth last season, which might have led to some insecurity and thus the veneers.
Okay, well, I pulled up an older picture of him, and I think his teeth looked perfectly fine, and I hate when people get veneers for their perfectly cute teeth.
Yes.
I just feel sad.
I know, because he's a cutie. Yeah. I like him. I really, really like him. Yeah. I think he has a hard time, like, figuring out where his loyalties are supposed to be and, like, trying to, like, make everybody happy. But he comes from a really sweet, genuine place. I really like him. Cole, I'm really worried about. I don't know if he's going to get it figured out. I liked last night's episode because I liked it because it felt, even though there was like all this drama at the end, it felt like fun reality TV.
I know. It's so much less dark. Yeah. Than The Valley. It's a breath of fresh air. My anxiety lowers just watching it. Like, oh, your dad is just like being investigated by the FBI and you guys are just like a bunch of alcoholics. I can deal with that.
That's good. All right. Yeah. Let's watch this. This is fun. Yeah. Like, what do you think of Calla?
I can't help but kind of like her. I think she's messy, but I think she's good TV.
Yeah.
I think that her and Steve Jr.'s relationship is obviously destined to fail.
Yeah.
And we know they broke up.
Again.
And yeah, because that was on Watch What Happens Live if you missed it. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that they are very toxic together. They're really bad at communicating. He is very hot and cold. I can imagine that would be confusing for her. And then I think that she says out loud the things that their family does not say out loud. So it makes it uncomfortable because I think that they're the kind of family that's like,
yeah. Yeah.
Everything is fine.
Right. And I think it's cute that like Steve Jr. thought he was going to control like the narratives about what's going on with the family. Like, it's so cute that you thought that. And now we have like both these women that are like FBI, and he's like, stop it. Yeah. And it's like, dude, we all know.
Yeah.
We all know.
And he's trying to protect his dad. Which is so interesting, right? Considering such a
Yeah.
piece of work he is. I mean, I think I like her. I liked that she got really drunk and messy this episode. I'm like, go off, girl.
Yeah.
Like, do your thing.
She's like packing her stuff at like 3 a.m, drunk. Like, where's my curling iron? I'm out of here. Did you see when she opened the door and she's like, is this an Uber? Did you see? Yeah, like at the end of the episode, she like opens the SUV door and she puts her suitcase in, and then she's like, "Is this an Uber?" And the driver is like, "Yes," and she's like, "Okay, for Kala," and he's like, "Yes," and she's like, "Oh, okay," and like puts the rest of her, but she's already like started.
Yeah,
She's ready to go, ready to go.
She like probably was like, wait, is this a production van or something? And I'm just like getting in with my stuff.
Yes, 100%. You could tell that's where her head was. So
Yeah.
I had fun with that episode. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. Yeah, Cole's definitely a mess, and I feel really worried for them. I mean, she's already pregnant, so they're gonna have to figure it out one way or another.
Yeah.
Mama McBee says that her father was an alcoholic and that all those kids drinking like that makes her feel really uncomfortable, and I totally get that.
Well, especially because it's like her father was an alcoholic. And if you watch season 1, it's hard to believe that Steve Sr. is not as well. So, yeah, like my kids have addiction on both sides of their family. I'm going to be concerned when I see them drinking this way.
Yeah, totally.
So,
yeah, any other thoughts?
no, it was just a fun one. I liked this one. I was able to enjoy, last week we saw Galena getting drunk at work. And for a minute, I was a little like, oh God, are we going to get heavy?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do heavy.
Yeah.
And then this week, I was like, this is just dysfunction. We all have dysfunction. I like this one. This is fun. I
Yep.
can do this. Yeah.
Good old-fashioned family dysfunction. We can deal with this.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so next, Kelly Wolf. Do you want to give me the scoop? Because some stuff's been going down.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. She is using her Instagram. I don't know. The restraining order was dropped that her husband got against her. But that was dropped in exchange for them signing a temporary like custody agreement. And so they're not allowed to talk on social media about the divorce, about their kids, anything that's going on with that kind of stuff is not allowed to be discussed on social media as part of their agreement. And then she can see the kids supervised. Doesn't sound like she's done that. She's talking about all these things on social media. She went live both last week and yesterday. Yesterday was the worst. Yesterday she went live while going to the family home to try to get some things from the house. And law enforcement was there, which that is very normal. I saw some people on Reddit that were like, I don't understand why law enforcement is just standing by and letting this happen. And that's actually something that they would rather be called to. Like, it's better if you think the situation could possibly go wrong. They are happy to be there while you get your belongings. That's much better than you calling when you're in the heat of a fight with the person that lives there.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
Not uncommon at all. And they stood by while she tried to break into her own house and couldn't get in. Her son commented on her live, which was like 30 minutes long. She recorded the whole thing. She told the cops that she was recording for her attorney. And so they didn't know that it was Instagram Live. At one point, she even gives one of the cops the phone and asks him to hold it while she's trying to open a window. And he does. And she's talking about things that just don't make sense. Just this very grandiose, she says, I have $6 to my name. And then 5 minutes later, she says, I'm making an offer on property today because my family protects land. None of it makes sense. She's just all over the place.
She's disconnected from reality.
So disconnected from reality. And I've went back, I've looked at her Instagram posts essentially from 2018 forward. Like trying to see, can I find where this all went wrong?
Yeah, you have a sick fascination with this sort of like the person that seemingly is fine and then sort of goes off the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, because some of her self-help stuff from much earlier made sense to me. Seeing her with her family talking about like the importance of being present and just with them, and it's really, really heartbreaking, because I hope these kids know that the person they're seeing, like the son that commented, I hope that he knows like what you're seeing right now is not your mom. You know, like that person that you know and love is still there.
Yeah, because he commented and he was like, Mom, what is going on? This is crazy, or something like that.
That's exactly what he said. He said, you know, Mom, what are you doing? This is insane.
Yeah.
Because I think it to him is like, what are
Who
you
are you?
doing?
Yeah.
That's it. Who
Which
are you?
goes to show like how far from her norm this is.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
almost wonder if evidence that between different times the police were called and things like that, this seems like it's been going on for, I would say over the last 12 months, it's been building really badly. But probably a couple years, there's been some warning signs. And I almost wonder if, you know, she was on The Real World years ago, right? And then she was on The Challenge for like one season. But then they did the Real World Homecoming reunion, which was where they took the same exact people and put them in a house again.
Yeah.
And that was in 2022. And I almost wonder if that was the beginning of a mistake, like having the world starting to both judge you and see you as a piece of their property to be like deconstructed and talked about. I don't know. Like I just wonder, because you've had all these years where she hasn't been this way.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's likely that something has triggered this episode.
Yeah.
Again, like I don't know exactly what she's going through, but for sure having delusions and disconnection from reality and, you know, the flight of thoughts like we were talking about and all of that, which, you know, some mental health disorders can be triggered in your later in life.
I know,
And
which is so scary.
it is scary.
But I also think it's like the other cautionary part of it, like again, because I am terrified of that, like it's so scary to me just seeing different family members I've had that have had mental health struggles. Like it really like can screw with my head where I'm like, oh my God, I just never gonna leave my house and it'll be fine. I guess what I need to know is like, do I have any control over whether or not this could happen?
Yeah.
And what I would say is that I do see the way substance abuse, because I don't think that you saw it yesterday. I know that I told you about the live, but right after the live, she accidentally went live again. And this was just for about a minute and a half. She did not know she was live. And the moment she did, she said, oh shit, and hung it up. But during that live, she was trying to pick up a controlled substance. And it sounds like it was Vivance, the ADHD med that's a lot like Ritalin or, you know, so it sounds like she was trying to pick up her Vyvanse prescription. And it was either too early for it or she might have been at the wrong pharmacy. You couldn't quite make out that part of it. You could just make out that she was trying to get it and the pharmacist is saying to her it's a controlled substance. So la la la. And I have read that if you start abusing certain ADHD meds and you already have mental health stuff and then you add in alcohol, what I'm saying is that I've also seen on Reddit people saying, this terrifies me. What if it could happen to me? And my big takeaway was, if you really are scared about that, the one area where you have influence and control would be substances, like whether it's alcohol or abusing these kinds of meds. Like you do have some say. You know what I mean? Like I need to know that I have some control.
Yeah, I'm like incredibly alarmed by that information because that means that she's willing to take a substance that she gets from the pharmacy. That means that somebody has prescribed that to her and not thought this person seems like they're disconnected from reality. So either it's a prescription that she's getting without having to go through the legit routes, or her psychiatrist, she's able to mask it enough that so her psychiatrist every 6 weeks or whatever it is does not pick up on what's going on. But I mean, how could you not see the news?
Like, that's the part right there. Like, you have no
Yeah.
excuse now. You can watch this with us. What are you talking about? Why would you be?
Yeah. So then you have to think, okay, yeah, I mean, there's so many checks and balances that are that that should be catching all of this that aren't. And yeah, and exactly. Like it's hard to imagine this happening to a normal person without the influence, attention, enabling.
Well, the same thing with the police at her house yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, we have a blonde-haired, attractive white woman, and you've got 3 officers there that are incredibly accommodating and patient and listening, and you wonder how that situation would have went if it was somebody else.
You barely
Not
have
like
to wonder.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so really sad. I mean, I really, really hope that whoever is on her care team insists. I mean, she's been on these holds before and it hasn't worked, but like it's clear that she needs some sort of mood stabilizer or something.
Well, she probably needs to be somewhere much longer than 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
She needs to be somewhere long enough just to be open to taking a medication again.
Yeah, because she's most certainly gotten a diagnosis from one of these facilities.
Well, she says bipolar, grandiose. It sounds like they have tried to tell her that this is what, and they're just wrong. They don't know. You know, like I said, she just wrote an entire book on quantum physics using a crayon during her last hold, a whole book. So, yeah, it's sad.
Well, we wish her the best.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So last up is the JaNa and Kenny breakup from Love Island USA. So let me give you.
What season?
This is Love Island USA season 5, the last season before this one.
Okay, give it to me.
So this is the season that completely blew up. They all became celebrities. They got a spin-off show.
Wait, okay, I remember you telling me about this.
Yep. So they're on the spin-off show, JaNa and Kenny, and they're sort of a beloved fan favorite couple. And they had their issues in the villa. A lot of it was Kenny was like kind of smitten with her, it seemed like, and really, really wanted things to work with her. She was a little more closed off, a little more like Olandria, slow to warm up, but eventually he won her trust. And they ended up leaving the villa together. And everybody was so excited for them. Like he seemed really happy. They seemed really into each other. Particularly, he seemed really into her, like really into her. And he also seemed really sweet, really kind, really adorable, really honest. Like he's a fan favorite for sure. People have, I mean, I, from my perspective, they've had nothing but good things to say about him.
Okay.
So they've been together for, I guess, around a year now. And they're on the spin-off show right now. I don't know when it was filmed, but I do. It was filmed in the summer, I think.
Okay.
And so, when that was being filmed, they were together. And about 3 days ago, fans noticed that she stopped following him on Instagram. And then they noticed that the other cast stopped following him on Instagram, every single one of them. And then they noticed that even freaking Ariana stopped following him on Instagram. And so now everybody's like, wait, yeah, what did this guy do? So what would you think? Based off of that information?
I would think it is either something that would get the Me Too movement unhappy or something with like a racial innuendo. That would be my guess. Those are the 2 things that come to mind.
Yeah. And for reference, she's Black and she's very dark-skinned Black, which is relevant because dark-skinned Black people get treated differently. They get fetishized. by white people and other people. And also they get treated differently than lighter skinned Black people do. And it's always like something that we talk about when we are analyzing reality TV that has diversity like that.
Yeah.
It's so rare that you get to see like a dark skinned Black girl get a happy ending because they're always being used, it seems like.
Yeah.
So, and I actually don't know what his heritage or ethnicity is, but he's not white. He's like maybe Latino. So, anyway, all of that said, she posts a story on her Instagram, and this is what it says. Hi, my loves. Thank you for all of your love and support. It means the world to me. As you know, Kenny and I are no longer together. Please know that I have seen all of the breakup theories and none have matched up to how terrible, disgusting, and disappointing it truly is. I just got the goosebumps. Discovering that someone you loved isn't who you thought they were and that the relationship you thought you were building hasn't been genuine since day one has truly been devastating. Thank you for respecting my privacy, and please know, as a child of God, I will always be okay. Okay, so we get that, and the internet goes wild. They're like, okay, so not only did he cheat, but like it has to be even worse than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then her best friend posts. And she says, my advice for women in relationships, if you have access, go through your man's phone today. Search keywords like, I don't like Black women. I thought I would get more money from this. I'm faking this relationship. Going on the show would be for clout. I can't wait to be done with this so I can fuck hella bitches. Y'all will thank me later. P.S. Never spare a man. Dog them out, baby girl. So then...
Well, there's the facial expression you wanted. You were hoping that I would have one. There you go. Mark that.
There it is. Oh my God. Yeah. So then JaNa reposts her posts and then like posting what her friends have said. JaNa is a strong and she is human. I would kindly request to encourage her by prayers and support with the respect of her privacy. Family is our priority. So Kenny dropped a statement now. And do you want us to hear the pathetic excuse for an apology that he posted?
Yeah, I'm ready. Give it to me.
The past few days have been incredibly difficult. I've been quietly sitting with a lot of emotions and doing my best to process everything privately. Breakups are never easy, especially in the public eye. Sometimes, despite how deeply you care for someone, you come to the hard truth that the relationship was not something that could last long term. I'll always be grateful for the time we shared and the memories we created. I released this chapter with no ill will, only a hope that JaNa's path forward brings her nothing but happiness. And here's what I have to say to that. It is not on you to release the situation with no ill will when you are the one that wronged somebody. It's adorable that you think that.
Okay, so hold on. Let's step back. This is me coming from I watched the documentary 15 Minutes of Shame. We haven't seen any evidence yet of what he's done. We're just going off of what, the woman and her best friend are saying, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, presumably my assumption would be that she got screenshots and she showed her close friends what he
I
said.
would think so. Well, I would think so, especially if you got Ariana to stop. And what are their names again? Tell me their names.
Kenny and JaNa. JaNa is JaNa.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want you to go look into that, and then we'll discuss what your findings are on the next step.
Well, I'm going to deep dive it.
Yeah, you're going to have to. And you're going to have to look at some of the cute clips of them because it really is devastating that he could have been lying this whole time. That's insane.
Oh, my God. So they've been together like a year.
Yeah.
Were they living together? Do you know?
No. So I guess that's a plot line on the new show is that he didn't want to move in together for some reason. Yeah, they were doing long distance, I guess. So interesting little plot point, I suppose, to...
Okay, I'm going to deep dive it. You are still on vacation.
Yep.
We're still going to try to get a second episode out this week.
Yeah, we're going to do the challenge recap. We're going to try to get it out by Friday or Saturday at the latest, I think.
Yay! All right.
As long as you can edit.
Yes, I can handle the editing. I'm going to do this one later today. And then we will probably do the reunion recap after we get the next two.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. We'll touch on it a little maybe on the next few episodes, but we'll do a big these are our takeaways and recap after the two episodes come out in a couple
I
weeks.
love it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you get your content. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.